This, that, these, and those. They're all words that we use to indicate people or things. And, I'm sure you've studied them before, but you might not be super confident that you're using them correctly. When you get to an advanced level of English, there are a few special situations that you need to know about. And let me help you with that today. Hi, I'm your English coach, Christina, and welcome to Business English with Christina, where you become better at English and better at business. What do you know already about the words this, that, these, and those? They're all words that we use, like I said, to indicate things or people. And in English, we call these words demonstratives because they're demonstrating or showing people or things. And in general, how we use them depends on whether we're indicating something or someone that is near or far, for example. And also it depends on how many things or people we're talking about. So maybe let's start with a general review of the rules before we get into some specific situations. Now, if you're talking about something or someone that is near to you or closer to you, you'll use this or these. If you're talking about something singular, you'll use this. For example, you might say, "Is this your phone? You left it in the meeting room." Or, "This is my coworker, 16. And if you're talking about someone or something close to you in the plural, we use these. To introduce some members of your team who are nearby to you, for example, you could say, "These are my colleagues, Karyn and Matthew." Or another example, imagine maybe a member of your team is showing you some examples of a prototype that your company has just built. You could say, "Yeah, these prototypes are great." Or just, "These are great." Oh, and did you know that I create some worksheets, some free worksheets for you on the topics of the weekly videos? Because I know that just watching the video is not enough to help you actually use what you're learning correctly. So if you want the free worksheet for this lesson, go over to christinarubafe.com/worksheets to get that free worksheet on this video so that you can practice what you're learning here, test yourself, and start using it in real life. Now, continuing on with our explanations. For that, we use that to point to someone or something that is singular but far from you. For example, with your colleague, you're in a meeting room, you might see a telephone over on the table on the other side of the room, and you could say, "Is that your phone? I think you forgot it over there." Now, if it's farther from you and plural, we use those. So again, let's take an example. You're at a conference and you want to tell your colleagues about some posters that you saw on display in another room in the conference venue. So you might say something like, "Did you see those posters about climate change in the auditorium?" So there's more than one poster and it's, far away, somewhere else in the conference venue. Now, here are some special situations. This plus time, like now. So when you want to talk about dates or times and use words like morning, afternoon, evening, week, month, year, we use this if you mean, the time that we're currently in. And this is an important one to know for scheduling things. For example, "I'm sorry, I'm not available. I'm so busy this week." And it's only Monday. Or, "This month, we're focusing on our new product launch." So here we're talking about the week or the month that we're currently in. It's the present time. All right, now this plus a time for the future. Now, I know it sounds a little confusing, but we also use this if we're talking about a time that's coming with the expressions morning, evening, and weekend. So for example, will you be at the conference this weekend? The weekend is in the future. Or you could say, this evening, I have a meeting with the board. So again, it's the evening, it's a little bit in the future, but it's still the near future. And this will help you to avoid confusion when you're using next plus week or month or year to talk about the future time. So, for example, you could say, I'll call you next week. So it's the following week, the future week. Or another example, let's meet again next month to discuss our new strategy. So again, not this month, the present month, but the following month. And another special situation is when we use that and those for something in the past. So when you're talking about something or someone that you saw in the past, we use that or those. For example, to congratulate your team member on something from yesterday that they did, you could say, that talk that you gave was really good. And if you met someone the other day, sometime in the past, and you want to talk about them today, you could say something like, those people from Awesome Core were really easy to work with. And here's special situation number 4, when we use that and those plus a negative opinion. So when you're not feeling so positive about a person or a situation, you might use that or those almost like you're creating distance from them. For example, if your team has some difficult clients to manage, you might say, those new clients are so difficult to manage. Or if you're talking about, a restaurant that you went to and you just didn't appreciate it very much, you might say, oh, yeah, you remember that restaurant with those rude waiters and that expensive food? I don't know why anyone would go there. Maybe just don't say that if your boss has just asked you to schedule a business lunch at that restaurant. And the opposite of that is if we have a positive opinion of something, we tend to use this or these almost as if we want to show our proximity with that thing that we like. For example, you might say to a colleague, you know what, I love these new slides that you're using in your presentation. Or, this new office is great. As I always say, if you don't use it, you lose it. So here's how you can use what you learned today. Write a sentence down in the comments with this, as if you were scheduling a business meeting, this evening, this week, this weekend, maybe not on the weekend. You get the idea. And then see if you can use that sentence maybe later in the week when you're actually speaking English. And it's the perfect opportunity to practice what you learned in the video and then apply it to your real life. Now, if this lesson was helpful for you, I would love to know, and there are 3 ways that you can tell me. Give me a thumbs up on YouTube and subscribe to my channel so that you can continue learning and improving your business English with my lessons. Go over to christinarobuffet.com/worksheets. Get that free worksheet that goes with this lesson. We create them for you. They're free. They're to help you learn better with the videos. So please, take advantage of that. And you can go ahead and watch this lesson, which explains another tricky little grammar point, which is all about they as a singular pronoun. And of course, thank you so much for improving your English and yourself with Business English with Christina. And I'll see you next time.